I learned how to discreetly remove a man's unwanted hand from my thigh at a crowded dinner table. I also learned later that evening how to awkwardly laugh when Dan Snyder aggressively pushed me towards his limo with his hand on my lower back, encouraging me to ride with him to my car. His attorney intervened and said, Dan, this is a bad idea. A very bad idea, Dan.
That is Tiffany Johnston, a former cheerleader and marketing manager for the Washington Commanders. In February, she brought new allegations of sexual harassment against longtime team owner Dan Snyder during a hearing on Capitol Hill. And tomorrow, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell will testify before the House Oversight Committee. Dan Snyder will not. Joining me now to discuss tomorrow's hearing, Emily Jashinsky, culture editor for The Federalist. Emily, good to see you. Transparency was promised by the NFL. Have we had that in this case?
No, absolutely not. The initial report is still not public. It's still not in investigators' hands, other than, of course, the initial investigators. And so the team has that report, and I think their unwillingness to fork it over is probably understandable strategically from their perspective, but from the perspective of them meeting a standard of transparency, it absolutely is not. The allegations against the team are over a period of time. There are multiple. It's not just about Snyder. It's about cheerleaders in the franchise in general. And so they have a lot of questions to answer, and I expect they'll realize that tomorrow for sure.
Commanders owner Dan Snyder cites business conflicts in turning down the offer to testify on workplace misconduct claims. Also, according to a letter from the panel, Snyder also declined to testify at the hearing because the committee did not make clear why he was being subpoenaed. I don't believe it's a big secret, but as we said, Roger Goodell will be testifying, the commissioner. What do you think he may share and we will learn?
It's kind of a big question, a big open question. I actually don't think we have any really good inclination. I think you see a little bit of this with what's the back and forth over the subpoena with Snyder. I expect very lawyerly responses from Roger Goodell. I mean, Roger Goodell is a professional. He's been in a position of massive power. The stakes for the NFL are extremely high, and I expect he will come very coached and vague, probably as vague as he possibly can be. And so I don't know that we'll get anything new. It's possibly going to be one of those conversations where it's sort of like talking to a brick wall who's been very well coached by lawyers. That said, the value is seeing what he does and doesn't say, what he does answer, what he doesn't answer. And I think that's probably going to be what we walk away with tomorrow.
You know, it was interesting. I heard a sports insider today talking about this, and he asked the question, who benefits more from secrecy? Is it the NFL? Is it Goodell? Is it Snyder? I guess the question is, what's at stake, right?
Absolutely. And so does Roger Goodell have any, I mean, he does not want to seem like the NFL is complicit. And that's really important in terms of what he knew, when he knew it, what he knows now, and then what Snyder did, what he knows about what Snyder did. So is it possible that Roger Goodell tries to completely distance him and the sort of top tier leadership at the NFL from anything that was happening, rather than just all out defend the team? Perhaps, but that actually depends on some information we don't have yet, including, what he knew when he knew, and that's where we're going to see that get really the screws sort of turned on Roger Goodell tomorrow.
Yeah, can we read between those lines? Emily Jashinsky will be following it closely, as will you. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.